Fresh off of Howard Homecoming, Tone T. Coming from you live from the Big Lip Radio Podcast Studios in Northwest Washington, D.C. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed, it is the Tone to a T, Big Lip Radio. Remember, all day, every day. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic of discussion is, wait for it, the brilliance of one Dave Chappelle. I'm not going to go into, well, actually I am, because this is a deep dive podcast. And as we Big Lip Radio people talk about, one from Washington, D.C., born and raised. But I think we know all of that about Dave Chappelle. I want to go in depth about the Netflix special, in particular, Sticks and Stones. Yes, Sticks and Stones. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. Pause this and go on Netflix and see it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please. This special was so genius. I'm going to go in depth, ladies and gentlemen, and go down that rabbit hole. David Chappelle is a genius, ladies and gentlemen. He is up there in terms of the Mount Rushmore of comedians. I think that you could say that now. And the comedians that are listening to this, please forgive me. I'm going to go into detail. You got Pryor is number one. He's everybody's number one. Can't fuck with him. Eddie Murphy is on my list in terms of the all-time great comedians. Stand up, did it all. Number 3, I'm going to say Bill Cosby, and you damn right. So who we got on the list? We got Pryor, we got Murphy, we got Bill Cosby. And slowly but surely, David Chappelle is inching up on that Mount Rushmore. Excuse me. I haven't put him on there as of yet, but for the last 15 years, even when he had his little break from Comedy Central and that show that was genre breaking, Chappelle Show. David Chappelle, still dangerous, still genius, and still brilliant. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This special was so dynamic. He begins the show by doing impressions. Then he breaks it down to where as he does an impression of the crowd, points at the crowd and says that I'm talking about you. It's not too many comedians that have done that, and it was able to fly. David Chappelle did that, and everybody still laughed. He still had control over the crowd. I'm pretty sure the crowd that day wasn't expecting that. He was in Atlanta taping the special. But it already put the people on edge, if you might say, because you didn't know what to expect. But Dave Chappelle goes into detail, and he goes on to talk about so many different things. The opioid crisis in America, comparing that to what the African Americans were going through in the late 80s, early 90s. Hello. And he did it so eloquently. It might have offended some people, but hey, we're not in the fucking business of, making people feel special and feel good, right? We want to get a laugh out of them. And at least get them to start thinking about something else other than the status quo. And that's exactly what Dave Chappelle did with this comedy special. The alphabet people, I'm not even gonna touch that. Psych a lot. Something so dangerous as to speak about the alphabet people. Usually, anyone who even touches that, and ain't talking about MC Hammer, anybody who would touch that, motherfuckers are canceled. Do you hear me? He was able to do it, make it funny. He was also able to talk about a Juicy Smollett. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I have been speaking about for the last several months. A Jussie Smollett. And the lie that he was able to tell. No one talked about it on either side. Dave Chappelle was able to speak about it, make it funny. As we move on. He talked about things that you weren't necessarily supposed to be talking about. And he did it with so much conviction, and the shit was funny. That shit was funny. The shit was funny. And no one could even deny that or even doubt how funny this shit was. Living in these days and times of this cancel culture. This cancel culture that cancels people out. They might have had an allegation or two, or something might have happened. He spoke about the Me Too movement and the murky waters of the Me Too movement. What is considered assault? What is not considered assault? It's her word against yours. And some other things that I don't want to get too in depth about right now. But at the end of the day, I shall. Big Lip Radio, we gonna go there. But anyway, right now we talking about the brilliance of this man, one David Chappelle, and how he was able to maneuver through so many topics, so many hot button topics and issues. Oh, wow. They said that Rotten Tomatoes gave him a 0%. Then later the people found out that the only people that voted were people that were from the communities that he offended or might have. Well, church lady, isn't that special? One person has an opinion and someone else wants to shut it down and or say, you know what, I'm not feeling what you're saying. But if a man speaks from it, puts it in proper context, and if it's funny, what's the problem? Sticks and stones As a matter of fact, I think that's the reason why he named it that. Because ultimately, if you want to be a part of everything, you got to be able to take a joke. And my people, oh, we might sometimes take things a little serious. We might be able to, sometimes we might even go overboard with some shit. But if there's one thing that my people know how to do, big ups, we know how to take a damn joke. You understand what I'm saying? People have been making fun of us and our culture for years. And we have to be like a duck and let it breeze right off our shoulders. If it's dirt, we got to brush it right off our shoulders. So people, don't be so sensitive about certain things that, to be honest with you, a lot of people still don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to let you know about that. And as you know, I am relaxing and chilling in the home of the Big Lip Radio Studios in Northwest Washington, D.C. That's NWDC. Thank you for listening. This is Tone T signing out. As always, peace, love, blessings abound. DMV, y'all.